All right, good evening, everybody. It is the Last Call Sports Show with Joe Ryan as we get ready to talk to you about the world of sports, things we debate at the bar. We bring it down here, and I kind of put a final spin on it, things that are going on around, especially the tri state area. And right now, we have two baseball teams in free fall. We have the Yankees, who right now are trailing the Blue Jays 8-6. They fell behind 8-0 early. Right now, it's 8-6 in the fifth inning as they try to possibly rally back and keep themselves from losing three straight to the Blue Jays, who were only behind them by one game at the beginning of today. And we have the Mets, who are up 5-0 against the Brewers, and both of them are heading for a collision this weekend as they will take on to have their second series of the season over 4th of July weekend. Fireworks should be great for that one, as we have, of course, the Soto versus Judge, all the storylines that'll be going on. Cone versus Steinbrenner. I don't know, Mendy going against Boone. We can go on, and we will go on and on as we take you through the weekend and these two teams get together. But I want to get to the Yankees tonight, and everybody's, because I am a Met fan, is going to yell at me for getting on the Yankees when the Mets are not exactly tearing it up, shall we say, because right now there is a part of the Yankees that kind of, stands out for me because it's been a problem for them for, I'd say, the last decade almost. The last time the Yankees had really an infield that was set was back in the Teixeira, Jeter, A-Rod days. Maybe second base moved around a little bit. I'm trying to think of who had been back then. But after that, when those guys retired and left town, since then, it's become a Brian Cashman and his math boys upstairs plugging and placing and just saying, hey, we can put this guy here, that guy there. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter he's a second baseman. Put him at third. It don't matter he's a shortstop. Put him at second. I mean, you just thinking all over the mistakes he's made, and I'll go into it further on as we get through the weekend and really dive into this, but I just can't help but get into it today because it was front and center all over local media about this, and there's a guy that everybody 2 years ago was calling the new superstar of the Yankees, and that is this man here, Anthony Volpe, who has now become a villain. This 24-year-old. I said at the time, and I'm going to tell you, my friends would tell you, I said, pump the brakes on this kid. Does he have athletic talent? Yes, he has a lot of athletic talent. He's got pop in his bat. He's got speed. He got a Gold Glove his first year, whatever that means. Gold Gloves mean nothing to me anymore because Gold Gloves, I don't know what the prerequisite is for getting a Gold Glove. I remember when Wade Boggs got a Gold Glove, but he never reached a ball, so who cares? I mean, there's so many examples of why Gold Gloves mean nothing. But right now, what we've seen from him is that his defense is in problems and seems to be going down. He's going in the wrong direction. The other night against the Blue Jays, he started a rally with an ill-conceived throw to third base, which allowed the man was there already. He wouldn't have mattered anyways. Didn't matter. But he allowed a runner to get to second, and that just allowed the rally where they came back and they beat the Yankees. And last night they just took care of the Yankees. And right now, we'll see what happens the rest of the game. I'll try and keep an eye on it for you while I'm doing this show. But right now, Anthony Volpe is a problem for the Yankees. And he's becoming a very big problem for the Yankees. And when you can get by with his mistakes when Judge is carrying the team, and when you're scoring 9 runs a game, and when they are doing that, but right now you saw what it cost Max Fried the other night, and he just can't keep playing at this level, and that's why I wouldn't be against. I know Cashman's against it. Cashman doesn't believe in it. Them doing to Volpe what the Mets did to Alvarez. Alvarez was not playing well. He was getting worse. So they sent him down. They haven't given up on him. But every once in a while, you have to send somebody down so they can get their heads together and come back up. The Yankees did it in 1951 to Mickey Mantle, so it's not like it hasn't been done in the past. I know I'm going back 70 years, but right now the way Cashman does things, and I'm gonna go like I'm gonna get into a deep dive with Cashman very very soon, because the way he's run the Yankees for 27 years, they make the playoffs every year, but he makes glaring mistakes. But I don't want to get into that tonight. Like I said, we'll get into it down the road. But then when you look around this infield, you look at Goldschmidt. All right, did you really get that much of an upgrade over Rizzo when you're looking at it now? He's hit 170, I think, in the last 30 games. He was floundering out in St. Louis, and at least you knew Rizzo what you're going to get. I don't know if this was an upgrade. Yes, it looked good the first month of the year, but everything was going right for both New York teams the first month of the year. Since then, Goldschmidt has become a hole in the lineup. He plays solid defense at first, but so did Rizzo. So, what did you really get by bringing in Goldsmith? And it adds to another problem on the right side of the infield. You have combined 73 years in age at first and second base. You have LeMahieu, who's trying to come back. He's been injured the last few years. So, of course, he's not the same guy he used to be. But they signed with this big contract. No one's going to take him off your hands. And we're going to have to see what happens if he can, I don't know, buck up his offense to so his defensive liability and his lack of speed doesn't hurt you. And then you go over and you got your best second baseman, Jazz Chisholm, playing third base, and he's starting to grumble a little bit because these guys know where their success is. They know where they're comfortable. Is Jazz Chisholm, did he have a great game over the weekend this weekend? Sure he did. But it's not like he's a great third baseman. This theory that Cashman and his math boys have that it doesn't matter these guys playing is ridiculous. If you can get a team where you know every day who's going to be your third baseman, who's going to be your shortstop, who's going to be your second baseman, who's going to be your first baseman, and then you get some kind of a utility player, a la what the Yankees had under Gene Michaels and Bob Watson and Louis Soho, it makes sense. But moving these guys around according to who's pitching, what's going on, and who's a great matchup at the plate kind of makes no sense to me. I'm sorry, it really doesn't make any sense to me. You see it in the effectiveness on the team. You see it when they make mistakes, and I think the Yankees are suffering for it now. And this is now going into the same thing that happens every year with the Yankees. Every year, at least over the last 3 or 4 years, they get off to a hot start. Then all of a sudden, the injuries start mounting. Then all of a sudden, you get the swoon. They start making mistakes. Other teams are capitalizing on their mistakes. And this is what you got. You have a Yankee team designed by Brian Cashman with his puppet, Aaron Boone, who won't make a choice outside of what the analytics department and him say. And I think it's about time we faced facts that the Cashman plan, although he makes the playoffs, does not work. Yeah, most teams, if you give them they have the $200 million, $300 million payroll, you're going to win. And it doesn't hurt that they have extra slots in there for wild cards now. I'd like to see what this team would have done over the last 3, 4, 5 years if you didn't have a wild card. So I think that they've taken benefit of that. And the other thing about it is they go against their own win or it's not good enough mantra. They've taken it into we have to make the playoffs and take our chances. And thinking about that, when you talk about, taking their chances in the playoffs, you got to look at, I brought this up just because I found this online today when they talked about the Dodgers scouting report against the Yankees last year going into the World Series. And we saw it come to light while watching these teams. The Dodgers scouting report was massively actionable, it says. attack fundamental flaws, especially base running and defensive execution, leverage lineup depth and patience at bats to tax Yankee pitching. In other words, if you get on base, take the extra base. If you have a chance to push the limits, do it because they'll make the big mistake in the big place. And we saw it happen last year after Judge's error, another Volpe error that cost Cole his game in a fifth game and ended the World Series for the Yankees. So, what I want to just leave you with tonight, and I'll be back tomorrow with more thoughts on the Yankees and ran the Mets because there was some rumblings again and the Mets right now that I have to get to tomorrow, and we're gonna talk at length about this because both these teams, it's not just that they're losing, but they're losing confidence in themselves, and the fans are starting to notice that. And once they lose the fans and we're in the dog days, it's going to be a hot, hot summer this year. And I don't think these teams can hold up to the heat as much as we want them to. So I'll be back tomorrow. We'll talk more about the Yankees and we'll talk mostly about the Mets tomorrow as we get ready for this collision on this weekend. I hope you're having a good night tonight. If you are at the fireworks, enjoy yourself. And please tune in, and I'll be with you all weekend long. This is Joe Ryan, Last Call Sports.